it is getting very difficult to sell a home right now in the Fraser Valley. If your listing isn't completely perfect, decluttered, depersonalized, updated paint, etc., move-in ready, it's probably not gonna sell. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the stats, what's been happening in the Fraser Valley, and I'm going through these stats with you in real time. This is the first time I've looked at these stats, so we're gonna go through them together. All right, so starting off with the HPI, what has been happening with prices in the Fraser Valley? We actually went down. And as I always say, the HPI is a lagging indicator. I find it lags at least 2 months behind, possibly 3 months behind. So, I mean, I've seen prices, well, I mean, that's pretty close. Prices have been dropping basically since March. That sounds about right. I mean, to me, I saw basically in maybe the second or third week of February, that's kind of when the market started changing. The year started off very, very hot. January, February, you know, the market basically was rocketing into the spring, and then into that third week of February, you saw things kind of start to die off again. So, I mean, I would say that this is actually decently accurate, that prices have been dropping basically since the middle of spring. Now, overall in the Fraser Valley, we're still down almost $200,000, so almost 20% since peak prices in March of 2022. Take a look at detached homes, 1.765, and we're now sitting at 1.528. So again, down $200,000. Apartments. So apartments kind of started tapering off again in March, and now only just recently ticked down only about $4,000. So apartments have held up really, really well, peaking at $582,000, and they're only down about $30,000. So 5% off the peak in the Fraser Valley, which is pretty good, I would say, considering everything that has happened. And if we look at townhomes, $925,000 all the way down to $851,000. And again, everything is now starting to go back down in price. Now, are we going to see these November prices again, or January 2023 or December 2022 pricing again? It's possible, but I'm going to say probably not. We'll have to see what happens. So overall, across the valley, we are now at 7,100 listings. It's actually a bit higher than this. I checked the other day, it was about 7,500-ish listings in total, which is the most amount of inventory we've seen almost in a decade. I think the only other time would have been in July of 2019, right here, 7,600 listings. And other than that, the next time that we can find we had this much inventory, you have to go all the way back to 2014. And this is basically what you would call a balanced market, a normal market. For the longest time, we've had very low inventory, and now this is more so in line with what is considered to be normal. And the reason why this happened is we had this massive spike of new listings throughout the spring, very similar to 2022 and 2021. However, if you look at sales, look at where our sales stood, right? Only 1,400 sales in May. Last year was 1,800 sales. The year before that, 2,500 sales. The year before that, 3,100 sales. So this has been a really, really weak year for sales in the Fraser Valley. And I mean, if you go back, you can't find too many years that have been worse than this year. So the last 3 before this have been better. So the last time sales were this bad were March of 2020, right after we announced the entire world was going to shit, right? And then you won't find that again until, 2019, very similar year, 1,400 sales. 2018 was a little bit better for sales. 2017 was much better. 2016 was much better. 2015 was much better. 2014 was better. So 2014 was a better year than what we're having right now. And then 2013, very similar. 2012 is a little bit better. 2011 is a little bit better. Actually, much better. Peaking at 1,700 sales, quite a bit better. Even 2010 was a better year than what we're seeing right now. 2009, 2008 was a slightly better year than what we're seeing right now. So it's a very, very weak year for sales. Now, if we look at sales to actives, we're at 18%. So that means for every 10 homes getting listed, 1.8 will sell within that month. Now, that being the case, we're technically in a balanced market. So anything under 12% is buyers, 12 to 20 is balanced, and anything above 20 is considered to be a seller's market. So that puts us right now across all the Fraser Valley at a balanced market. Detached homes, 13%, so nearly a buyer's market for detached homes. Apartments, almost 21%. So apartments, and the prices reflect that. Apartments are only down 5%. We're still in a seller's market at 21% despite everything. And townhomes have remained to be pretty hot. And I think the reason why this is because it's so difficult to afford a detached home. And there isn't very many condos that provide you 3 bedrooms. So if you need a 3rd bedroom because you have a kid, you're raising a family, you have to go with townhomes. Like regardless of whatever the price is for that townhome, if you need a 3rd bedroom, you got to make it work, right? So I think a lot of people are getting pushed into that 3-bedroom townhome market, and there's just not a whole lot of them, right? Because obviously townhomes take up a much more space in our land, right, in this area than a condo would, right? On 1 acre, you might be able to build, and I'm just, 50 townhomes. Whereas on an acre of land, you might be able to build 400 condos, right? So the supply is a lot more scarce for townhomes, and they're becoming a lot more of a necessity for people. And, that's why we have townhomes still at a 26% sales ratio, in my opinion. Now, across all the Fraser Valley, if we take our 7,100 total listings inventory and we divide it by sales, so 1252. So 7,100 divided by 1252. Let's see what that is. 7,100 divided by 1252 is 5.6 months of inventory, which is balanced, but almost kind of rolling into buyer's market territory. So 0 to 2.99 months of inventory is a seller's market. 3 to 5.99 months of inventory is balanced, and then anything 6 and above is a buyer's market. So we're currently teetering on a buyer's market all across the Fraser Valley for months of inventory. However, if you look at the inventory, to me, it does look like it is now peaking for the year probably and starting to roll over or at least flatten out, because you can see it right here is kind of starting to turn and go this way. And if you look in history at any other time it's done that, it's either gone flat for a little bit or it's, rolled back over. So we could be getting very close to the peak of inventory for the year before inventory starts rolling back over or at least flattening out. But we will have to see. Inventory is technically a little bit higher than what it's currently sitting at right now. Maybe a bunch of listings will expire towards the end of July, but we will have to see what happens with that. So in my opinion, for the short term, I'm bearish. I think prices in the Fraser Valley are going to continue to go down. Who knows how much? I think if we get a rate cut towards the end of July, we may see an uptick of sales following that, but I don't think it'll make a big impact on the market whatsoever. We may see some short-term renewed activity for 2 or 3 weeks after that rate cut, if and when it happens. But overall, I think prices are going to go down likely for the rest of the year or until something changes. I don't know if it's going to be a drastic drop. It'll probably just be a slow bleed until, affordability improves and rate cuts come down and maybe some of that inventory expires off the market. But the current setup right now with the months of inventory, the sales ratios, and everything kind of trending towards a buyer's market, I think we're going to see prices come off a bit from where we're at right now. And how much is anybody's best guess. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to chat about buying or selling in my local market, you can book that call with me. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.